One thing that you brought up that I think is a really good idea, and it's something that I've been doing that has really worked well, is you talked about collaborating with other businesses for like webinars, like Zoom webinars and things like that. So why don't you talk a little bit about that? And then I have some ideas on that also about how attorneys can use that.
Yeah. So, I mean, so we've been doing this. I mean, we've been doing a weekly dial-in, every week that's open to the public, but also, we've been seeing many of our clients. So let's say trial lawyers that are also doing, some of them are doing these weekly, some of them are even doing this as frequently as daily, where they're doing basically Zoom dial-ins with other attorneys. Some have 500, even 1,000 people or more, and they'll bring on various speakers. They'll talk about various types of litigations, all these different things that not only are informative and educational, but they also are building relationships and connections. So they're building up potential referral sources, things like that. I think that the main thing, if you've been somebody who's been marketing, let's say webinars or dial-ins previously, you'll notice that in the last few weeks, a lot more people are registering and attending these things. So if you believe, well, who would be interested? Like, our numbers have doubled or tripled. I mean, Andy, I don't know about you guys, but if you were putting out a dial-in 8 weeks ago, a webinar, those registration numbers were looking very different. And this again comes back to the fact that people are consuming content. Like they're looking for more of these things. I think the other thing is just, this is a time where, and this goes for all people, not just business leaders and team members and so on, but they're looking for confidence and clarity. Someone to be able to provide them that, because we're in a period of significant uncertainty. I mean, we don't know necessarily what tomorrow is going to look like, or a week from now, or a month from now. I mean, we literally don't. I mean, we had a podcast go up today where we interviewed a doctor who was at the CDC, and he's saying the same thing. Like, they don't know what's going to happen a week from now. So just objectively, I think the power of community right now can't be understated. And this is a really great time where those previous lines between almost like who you would consider a competitor in your market, like another law firm, it's not really about that anymore. I think now it's just more about, like, what do we do? How do we collaborate? How do we reach more people and reach each other's networks? Because this is really about increasing visibility. Attention has always been very valuable. I mean, as we've seen, as how it's influenced presidential elections and things like that. But now, more important than ever, I mean, when you consider the fact that attention is cheaper, quite literally, the ads are cheaper. People are consuming more of it. Making sure that you keep your firm in the conversation. I mean, there's a saying that, if you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And I think that couldn't be more true now. It's just simply not partaking in these things. And regardless of your feelings towards social media, whether you use it or don't use it, I mean, the reality is, your clients and referral partners, are on it in some form, and one of the platforms at least. But just keeping your firm and yourself in that conversation right now, I think, is imperative.